Yes. Good afternoon. I am so sorry, technical difficulties, but we are here today. So, before we begin, please just type down below how your day was. Uh, or if you have a business decision that you are struggling with, go ahead and type down below and then we can talk about it throughout the live. But in the meantime and in between time, I will teach you how to know the difference between your costs, your margins, the profit that you're making, revenue, and all those words. I will just make them very, very understandable to you. Okay? So, pricing. Most entrepreneurs get to their price because they charge what other people are charging. They are looking at the market but not understanding it. They are also not comfortable asking for the right price. They are even coming up with just an hourly rate from, thin air and then charging it. Go ahead. I'm not seeing anybody sending me any information. Just tell me, what are you looking to learn today? You can also drop your industry and what you do and the complications of it or the differentiation. And we can also talk about the pricing as we keep going along. We have to understand, as any entrepreneurs and business owners, we do not have a magic pricing formula. We have a way of getting to the price, and this is usually in layers. So think about it this way: if you're trying to make lasagna, for everybody who's tasted lasagna, you have to put layer after layer after layer, and those layers are what that gets you to the meal called lasagna. That is the same thing with pricing. So the first layer usually is the cost. The cost floor, which is just, ground, it's what it will cost you to deliver the service to your clients. As any business owner, you need to think also about your overhead or any other business expenses that you would incur, and your desired profit. Whatever number that you have chosen or whatever kind of percentage that you have chosen, that is the cost flow. Okay. Next, for solopreneurs, usually we we decide, like, let's say if you want to make annually $120,000. This is give and take. This is an example. And then you have annual expenses of, let's say, 30,000 US dollars. Annual expenses. I know this is very low, but for the sake of the example, let's keep the numbers where we can just do like easy divisions. And then you have realistic billable projects. So these billable projects are usually whatever you have already determined that you need to do, the kind of work you need to do, or the kind of people you need to engage with, and how many there are. So let's say in a year you're taking about 30 clients. So you will take the total of the annual income that you want to make, which in this case is 120,000, plus the annual expenses, which would be 30,000. There we have 150,000. And then we divide it by the billable projects. You took 30 projects. So if we do 150,000 divide by 30, we get to 5,000. That is the lowest amount you can charge for any project. Anything lower than that, you're making a loss. So think about it that way. For any entrepreneur, this would be a good place to start, because at least you know this is the minimum amount that I need to charge. Um, it's always sometimes known as the economic floor. And being at the floor, that means you cannot go any lower. Otherwise, you're in the ditch. Got it? The layer two, which is your time economics, where you look at your effective hourly rate and you decide like, okay, so I will charge maybe uh 3,000 for this project, but it will take me 15 hours to complete it. Okay, this is pretty low also. That means you're charging $200 per project. I mean, per hour. So if it's $200 per hour, think about it this is just for the project. Then you have to also remember that you have to onboard this client, you have to attend other meetings, you have to do some rework, and you will see those hours will keep rising, but your hourly rate is changing and going lower. So let's just say if they come in and they say, it will I need a rework which will take you another 5 hours, and then with this meeting that you have to attend with me which will take another 2 hours, and we need you to work on something else that is related to this that you forgot to do, which will be another 3 hours. So those are 10 more hours that have been added. So instead of 3,000 divided by 15, it will be 3,000 divided by 25. Get what I'm saying? So now you're already way below $200 per hour. This is not an effective way to charge. I hate that way of charging because clients are clients. Clients will need some hand holding, some will give you a project where you're charging by the hour, but you're not available all those hours that you think you're going to be available. And sometimes also the economic value that the client is going to get does not correspond with how much you're charging. So you're at the loss and you are not giving them any value. The third layer is the value layer, where your cost determines what you need, but your value determines what you can potentially charge. So your cost determines what you need to get to the solution, but your value will determine how much you need to charge. The value is what the client gets, so the outcome, which this is determined by the financial benefit, the risk aversion that you've done for them, the costs avoided, time saved. All these are factors that you have to put into consideration whenever you're looking at the value. So your fee is evaluated based on the economic outcome of the client. Let's say you've been hired, and the client tells you, I want to have a return on investment or reduce my expenses by $100,000, and you have a solution for them where yes, you're able to reduce that for them. Let's say you're running bookkeeping services and they've never done some bookkeeping. I like using that example because I don't understand that word, but let's just say accounting services. So they come, they've never done, and anytime you're going to touch their books, you're going to show them money leaks, and you will be able to make them 100,000 without them even doing anything, even bringing in new clients. You've already given them a value, like the value of $100,000. And even if it took you an hour to get them to the solution, you're still going to charge them according to the value that you provided. So even if the value is 100,000, you can decide, okay, fine, for this 100,000 that they made, the value I presented to them was about 10%, or what I feel that I want to charge is 10% of 100,000. So you're going to charge them $10,000. But as a business owner, if you're going to make me 100,000 out of thin air, literally, which is my books, I will pay you $10,000 because definitely you've made me money and you've saved me some time and taught me some things that I did not know about my business. All these things come into play. So this is where now people will do like value-based pricing, where you're charging based on the value that you provided to the client. There's a formula for that. Take your pen and paper. So the formula is the price will be the economic value which you offered times the value capture percentage. The value capture, you decide. The value capture is something that you decide, but you're not trying to take your client out of business. So usually people will think about it anywhere between 30% to 10%, like between 10% and 30%. That's how you're going to charge that. Okay? So the percentage is usually a strategic judgment based on your market, where you're operating from, or the industry you're in, the proof that your solution works, the risk of the work, the complexity, and any other alternatives that are available there, and the strength of your positioning. If your message is different from others, you can charge whatever you want to charge. And at this point, that's where people will do like profit sharing, where, yeah, if I make you this amount of money, we can go 50-50 after you've taken out your expenses and all that. Because when it comes to consulting or whenever you're doing a service based business, uh, some of the work has to be done by the client. If it's profit sharing, you ensure that the client has done the work for you to get paid. So some people like that model. I have worked with some individuals, like some of my clients, where that's the model that I've used in when I'm charging. But most of the time, I do value based or project pricing. We will talk about all that. So there's the pricing formula stack. Anytime that you're looking at doing your pricing, you need to consider the cost to deliver the service. This is something that you need to keep in mind, because costs, you always have a cost. Even if I delegate it to somebody, I need to pay that person in order for them to do the work. There's also the floor, where that's the lowest that you can charge, the very low that you can charge. The premium, like why should they pick you? What are you bringing to the table? Yeah, I hate that statement. But what are you bringing into their business? What of value are you offering that somebody else cannot offer? The market, you can choose to look at how others are charging relative to what you're offering. But if you have a lot of differentiators, this does not matter. And then the financial and economic impact to the client. So your final price will be the floor plus the market plus the value plus the risk plus the differentiation. So the reason why there's no cost on there, because cost appears in the floor. So you look at these numbers, which is the cost, the floor, the market, financial impact, and the premium, anytime that you're coming up with a price. The reason you do this is to avoid saying that I'm not comfortable with hard conversations, especially about money. So what I will do is I will just go ahead and charge this, because this is what I'm comfortable with. And yet you're just taking losses. Get what I'm saying? I would rather you overcharge than undercharge, in my opinion. Hey, Mel. Hi, Jewelry. So the ways to price, we have hourly pricing, my least favorite. I hate that method of pricing, but we're going to talk about it. So it will be where you take your hourly rate with the estimated number of hours that you're going to do that work. All you can do is estimate the number of hours. We do not know the actual numbers because we don't know what other thing would the client want. Do they want more revisions? Do they want more meetings? Do they want like different things? And if you're charging hourly, you're stuck at that number, no matter how much they are a pain in the ass. Sorry. The pro regarding this is it's best with indecisive clients or clients who are uncertain about whatever they want. Oh, you can run that meter. Just say, yeah, yes, you're 20 hours. Yeah, 100 hours. Oh, yeah, yeah. Maybe we are 200 hours. And then you give them that. And there are also some clients who will require you, or they will definitely say, I only want you to bill me in hours, in like according to the number of hours at this point, because this is your business. Okay, if a client comes into my business and they tell me, oh, I just want you to charge me by the hour, depending on the number of hours that you're going to work, this is where I start the conversation by saying, thank you so much for approaching me, but this is how we do business here. And then I tell them that this is not going to be acceptable, but in a nice way. You just tell them that we don't do that here. We don't even have the systems to support what you're asking for. We don't even have, I don't have the staff to support that. I can refer you to somebody else, or I would advise that you keep shopping. It's okay. They're choosing that's how they want to pay. But if your business does not accept that, just tell them I don't have the system to support that, or how we do business, or how I have done business before. Or you can even sell them into other different ways of pricing. The con about this is that you get punished for being efficient. Dumb. Because if I give you a solution in 3 hours or an hour, that doesn't mean that I do not deserve to get paid a certain amount of money. No, I deserve to get paid all my dollars, each and every single one of them, because I did the work and I gave you the solution that your business needed. Next kind of pricing, we have project pricing, where you charge somebody by based on project. Oh, I want you, this is usually for websiters. I want you to build a website for me. Okay, that will be $5,000. And that's a flat fee, and then that's it. So people will charge based on that project. Or I want you to create for me a copy for my website. Okay, yeah, sure. This is how much it will cost you. You give a flat rate. This is usually takes into consideration like the scope, the complexity, deliverable, and the risk. Um, the client buys the defined outcome, not your stopwatch. So they will buy that outcome that they want, not how much time that you're going to be spending on this project. Number three, this value-based pricing. This is where you go ahead and estimate the economic value for the client. You multiply it by the appropriate value capture percentage. So if the expected economic value for the client is going to be $1 million, and you decide to charge 30% of that, it's going to be $300,000. So think about it this way. It's more like a commission. I would put it that way. But it's not actually a commission, but yeah, it's like a commission. Like, I'm gonna make you some money, so we're gonna make some money. Okay, your money is my money, but my money is my money. That's how it's gonna be. It's best when you can clearly connect your work to a reasonable and measurable business outcome. So you have to be able to measure the outcome. Number four is the retainer. A retainer is usually preferred by advisors. So advisors will be like, yo, you want to have access to me and my beautiful brain that can do all these magical things and tell you all these things about your business? Sure. How about you pay me this much money? It's like, a gate pass. Think about it that way. So anytime somebody is retaining you, they're buying access to your brain to come for any form of advice, um, especially when it comes to the line of work that you're in. So most business owners who are in the advisory sector, you can be in any industry, but as long as you're advising somebody, consulting, coaching, doing different things, yes, you get on retainer. This is how we pay lawyers. This is how we pay bookkeepers, because that happens every month. As long as you're getting money, you gotta pay this person. So anytime somebody has put you on retainer, they're paying for your beautiful brain to just think on their behalf and have access to you. Got it? The other type of pricing is profit share, where you work and then we work together, and then you take away your expenses, and then what is left for you, we share at this level. You can decide the agreement is at 60/40, 70/30, but profit share is good, especially if you want to hold somebody accountable, or you have seen the future and you already know that this person is going to make some money once I give this solution, and I would like to be part of the celebratory group. So somebody does business, they make $1 million. After they've taken out their expenses, they're left with 500,000. So 500,000 is their gross. And then if you have a 70/30 kind of situation, you take 30%. Yeah, definitely. People are willing to do that as long as they keep a stake. They were not making that much money anyway. So clients will agree to profit share. So now, um, let me give you an example. Like, one example is, um, let's say for the hourly part, let me take my pen and paper. The hourly part, because the client is buying hours, they charge maybe $200 per hour. Okay. And then the project takes about 10 hours, because they're just being charged for that. So that will be $2,000 for the project. Okay. That is the hourly rating. Value based. Actually, no, project pricing. You were told to build a website, and then you charge a flat fee. You're like, oh, for this thing, I will charge you $5,000. So somebody is buying the project. Okay. So here the client is buying the project. And then for the third one, which is the value based, the economic value for the client, let's say you have determined, is about $200,000. And then the value capture that you are going to use, the percentage will be, let's say, 10%. Let's not be too greedy. No, not greedy. Like today, we are feeling that 10% is fair. It's okay to be greedy. I believe in that. So 10% is fair. So you will be paid around $20,000 for the project. And then for the fourth one, which is retainer, you agree with somebody that they will pay you $3,000. Okay. And let's say the agreement is over 12 months. This is about $36,000 for the year. So you see how the client is paying at different rates? This is because they're buying something different with each and every entrepreneur. If you want to make money, if you want to understand how to navigate the world of pricing, all you need to do is redesign what the client is buying. They could be buying your hours, that is your time, and you've decided to charge for that. That is what they're paying for. So that's what they're buying. They could be buying the project. It still takes time, but they're buying the project, which is the outcome. So you can charge them that way. They could be buying the economic value, like whatever they want in economic value. Once you have determined that and you have captured your percentage, they're paying for the economic value. And then for the retainer, they're buying access to your brain. They're buying access to your solutions. They're buying access to you. Anytime a client has a lot of access to you, just keep raising that price. Just jack it up, take it all the way up, because access, that means you can't even touch something else. You're here just listening to the client to come up with the solution to that problem. The problem could be as small as, what kind of books should I buy? Whatever it is, as long as they are paying for your access, charge accordingly. So if they're paying for the access, that is what you do. You charge for the access, which is retainer, and your price goes higher. So the thing is, like, never price the thing you do. Price the business problem that you're solving or you're equipped to solve. Your price should make sense to you financially and make sense to the client economically. Okay? Mel, what do you mean you don't do that there? Yeah, you can do it anywhere. It's your business. You can do whatever you want to do. There's no magic pricing formula. Just remember that. Like, just remember, this is your business. Do whatever you want to do with your business. Do not rely on necessarily, oh, this part of the world does this part of the world. No. If somebody wants you to work for them, they will pay for you to work for them. If somebody is approaching you because of the solution you can provide to them, they will pay whichever way. Just tell them, this is how we do business over here, and nobody will be questioning it. Nobody will be asking you, oh, why is it this way and not this other way? No, this is how I do business, and this is what I need you to do. How about you write that check in my full names? Yeah, that's what you tell them. But or give them the solution, and just wait for them to make the decision. The thing is, as business owners, what we don't know, or we have not been taught, especially as women, culturally, we don't know how to protect our value. If you have not learned, this is a hard thing. If somebody pushes you for a discount, people keep asking me this question all the time. All the time, this is the biggest question that I receive. If somebody is pushing you for a discount, what are you telling them? And sometimes when I have worked with other clients, they say that when somebody tells them, oh, I need you to give me a discount, they go ahead and decide that, oh, and maybe this is the first time that they're buying from them. Yeah, no problem. I will give you a discount. Let's say they're charging the hourly rate, which is $2,000. Oh, yeah, right now things are tight and I would like a discount. Oh, sure, no problem. I'll actually charge you $1,000, and we actually have a payment plan. Matter of fact, don't worry about it. Because this is the first time you're working with me, I can just bring it down to $800. All of a sudden, you're negotiating against yourself. People not understanding that this whole time the client has not spoken. So what you need to do is when somebody asks you for a discount, just go ahead and remove some things from the scope, the deliverables, the speed to the solution, the access to you. Remove all that, like all the everything else, just remove, because you're protecting your value. That time that you was to spend to do that, feel free, work with another client. And being that negotiation is a skill, it's a business skill, it's very important. And people think that negotiation is just for the benefit of yourself. No, I'm also protecting the client, because if you're paying me less, how am I supposed to have the resources to serve you? Riddle me that. So, as the people who have attended here, just we need to understand that once you have known your economic flow, like let's say the way we calculated, and the economic flow was about $5,000, that means there's nothing else, nothing else that you can do to lower that price. Anything lower, you're robbing yourself or you're robbing the people in your household. So, why would you do that? Are you trying to be a mother? Are you trying to, I don't know, show us the ninth wonder of the world? I just don't understand it. What language are you speaking? In what country? You know, just be fair to yourself and also to your client. That being said and being stated, the price is also your price, okay? Once you have decided that this is the price that I'm going to set for my business, there are reasons why. You have expenses, especially if you're 100% into business. And most of the people here I know are running businesses who are just 100% involved in them, and they pay for all the expenses that they do have. So, your house expenses, your business expenses, they all need to be covered in this. Your savings, any form of investment that you're doing, and also your profit margins. Remember, anything that is an expense, you're saving, your investment, and you got to invest for both your business and your household. That is not part of the profit margin. For the profit margin, you choose what you want it to be. And sometimes it could be as I usually tell people, especially if you've never charged any form of profit, you can start with 1%. Or you can just go higher and charge as much as you want, even 300%, 3,000%. That's your business. That's none of our business. But you need to charge a profit margin, because that is how you grow and scale your business. It is not in the expense money, it is not in the savings and investment money. This is profit margin business, and this is actually what you would pay taxes on. So let's say you're in a country like here in Kenya, where taxes is about 30%, give or take, but you only pay on the whatever is remaining. So you will calculate all your expenses. So just remember, everything is an expense. The way you justify investments is different. Just talk to your accountant. And also how you justify your savings, that's different. So your profit, you need to learn how to divvy it up to be able to pay for your taxes at whatever rate that will be. What I will say is, sometimes we even go ahead as entrepreneurs and not pay ourselves. Under business expenses, your pay needs to be in there. You're an expense to your business, the most expensive thing. Because without you and being in good health and good standing, that means you need all the monies for the vacations and all that. Who's going to pay for that if not your business? So, yes, my goal is to help you generate wealth from your business, and it's possible. We just need to learn how to do the things the right way. Pricing is the most basic one. But you can only price once you have understood other things that go on with your business. At this point in life, I would say, I would give an example of myself. I do have a chronic illness, sickle cell anemia, and I have to see the doctor. Anytime I go see that doctor, I feel like crying because they take all my money. But I have to do that, and health insurance is highly expensive for me if it's available. But I'm grateful for whatever I get from the state. What I would say is this: even that health insurance is in my business expenses. Anytime that I need to travel because of business, that's a business expense. What I will also encourage you to do is look at your lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle are you trying to lead? Are you trying to take vacations every month? Oh, well, you better be charging real well, like real well, to be able to afford that. But if you're single, you ain't got no kids, this is very possible. And your sanity might be tested, but we'll just pray for you. However, look at your lifestyle. How do you want to live your life? What kind of area do you want to live in? What kind of house do you desire? What do you want for yourself? Think about all these things. At a price like, oh, if I mention this price, accept it. What is the difference between that and what you had yesterday, which was zero, and today was zero? Somebody will come because of your genius and they will pay you appropriately. Don't think of anything with a scarcity mindset. There's a lot of money out here. There's a lot of high paying clients out here. There's a lot of people who will pay you for your services. As long as they've understood what you do, they gotta understand, because people like to put people in boxes. As long as they understood what you do, they will pay you. And you just need to be visible and be known, because maybe although you post every day, although you're doing your marketing every day, they still don't know about you. Anytime you get tired of even looking at your videos or whatever, just know there's somebody who's not heard about you. All these billions of people, I'm not sure what that number is, I think 6 billion in the world, and you want to tell me everybody knows about you? No. And do you want everybody as a client? No, you just want your ideal clients, and you don't even want all the ideal clients, you just want some of them. And anytime that you're coming up with a solution and you're describing your value, make sure you're solving an expensive problem. That's what I usually tell my people. What I'm saying is, go ahead and hold on, because it's coming. You do not need to just buckle. If you're getting paid by the hour, well, that's an expensive job that you have. Let me see. They say sell to the wealthy. How do we position pricing to this market? Okay, when you're selling to the wealthy, first of all, you have positioned yourself with, like, what solution are you offering? As long as they have understood what you're doing for them and you're solving an expensive problem. So the outcome that you're going to give them will be an expensive problem to them. So when we talk about the wealthy is, I don't know how much everybody marks on here, but let's say for the entrepreneur, my hourly rate, I can, like, let's say the days I used to charge hourly. Well, that's a long time ago. So let's just go by the number, let's say 500 or $1,000 per hourly rate. If you want to get paid more, the person that you're giving the outcome to, your client, that is, and you're solving their expensive problem, their hourly rates should be way higher, where hiring you is cheaper. That is one. Secondly, anything that affects time, reduces risks, increases money for them. That is things that, they just are music to their ears. So you need to know, how are you doing that? How are you giving them more money in their pockets? How are you telling them and making them understand exactly what you do? I know lie you on an NGO. So in this case, your client is your funder, or is it the person benefiting from the money you're getting? I would say your funder, because they're the ones who needs a lot of management. So for them, they have a solution. They have all this money, but they cannot get to the people that they want to help. So you're in there and say, hey, I could help you do that. And I will provide the staff and all that. And this is how I will package it for you. And this is how much I need from you. So that is an expensive problem. Just charge higher. Make sure your rates for employment are pretty up there or market competitive. You do know the policies that they need. So learn how to navigate those policies. I would say work with other people, but make sure that you are understanding, how do I go around these policies, or how do I work with this funder? You can also ask them that, can we get an exemption out of this? It's okay to ask. The worst they can tell you is no. That doesn't change anything in your life. They're still giving you funding. So just tell them, because this is a place that is very rural, or this is a place that I need to access with a lot of transport. How do I do that with this kind of money? After doing my math, this is what I will need from you. And just explain it to them, and then provide whatever they need. Um, that's what you said about the person wanting to pay you hourly. Yes, the person who wants to pay you hourly, first of all, they're just robbing you. Because Mel, I have worked with you several times, and you're really good at what you do. You do not need even that hour to come up with a solution. So will we punish you because of your efficiency? You see what I'm saying, or what I'm asking? So yeah, charge for you. Hey, the sky is no longer the limit. You can charge by the hour, you can charge by the project, you can charge value based. No, don't do charging by the hour. Do value based pricing, do a lot of things, because you work in branding, and branding is really huge, because the economic value of that, we can't measure it as much as we would want to, especially for business owners. Let me see. Uh, Hi, Wangari. This is very insightful. Yeah, sure. You're welcome anytime. Do you have any questions for me? Or I can keep talking about something else. What I want to encourage everybody is always negotiate. Not, I don't like negotiating against other service providers. But when somebody starts that conversation, oh, yes, we're going, whether it's on email, face to face, or anything. But after negotiating, because we lose money from interest where the client is interested to where you receive your payment. Right here in the middle, there are steps, where you have communicated the price, you have started working, done the deliverables and all that. So you need to also have ironclad contracts, things that will just protect you as a business. Put all these things in place, like sue people, start suing everybody who's not paying you. But like, just put things in place on paper and define each and every single thing, because you will realize that sometimes us as business owners, we're really good at getting the clients through the door, getting the money in, but retaining it, that's the issue. because we don't even realize that we are leaking money somewhere else. A contract can make you leak money because you did not specify that you only get two revisions, not unlimited ones. You did not specify that you get a meeting, one, not unlimited 10 meetings. You did not specify that you only get this one day of access to me, and then we can work for just one day and just wait for your outcome. You did not specify all that. So people will just come and just probe you, and they will, oh, people will try you. They will try you and they will push and push. So use contracts, use sound judgment, but fix everything between the interest part to where you're getting your payment. I usually advise people ask for your payment ahead of time, because how am I supposed to facilitate working for you if you want to pay at the end of the engagement? It does not make sense to me. Does it make sense to you? Maybe you should ask your client. Just say, does it make sense to you? Like, how am I supposed to get the staff or even to put the resources towards your business? I can't afford that. I do not have that much float around. You can work with a bigger business. You can definitely tell them that. Or how we do business here, you gotta pay about 80%, or you gotta pay this much. And then, as per the contract, you need to have your next payment here, 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 here. So specify that. A contract will protect you, and negotiation will protect you also. So always protect your value. Always, all the time. Um, Avoid scope creep. Avoid um, timelines that are endless, and always remember that you don't do anything for free. Even if you volunteered yourself to, go to a school to talk about some careers, yeah, I'm getting out of here with something. I'm not living with nothing. I'm definitely getting something out of this engagement. Okay. Um, okay, Vanita, do you bluntly ask, does it make sense to you? Yes, I do ask you. Because why are you telling me all these things that don't make sense to me? Help me understand. How did you come to this conclusion that you need to pay me at the end of the engagement? And I wait and listen. Maybe there's some sense that I'm missing with all my years, or maybe there's something that I will learn. Just listen. But most of the time, no, there's nothing. You just ask the client, because sometimes they will try you and ask you questions that just don't, they're unfair to you or highly disrespectful. So if I want you to, like, in anything that I want you to remember is we're not accepting hourly pricing. You're always living with something. Always. It doesn't matter. Even if you're doing something for free, you're getting out of there with something. If you're having a conversation with another entrepreneur looking to collaborate, you're living with something. You're living with something. You're living, shoot, I'm gonna live here with this book. You're living with something. You're not just going empty handed. Negotiate. If you don't know how to, you can work with me, and I can teach you how to. Or work with somebody. If you're avoiding these tough conversations, I am good at tough conversations, because when it comes to money, like, I even tell my relatives, me and you are related, but our money is not related. Hmm. Don't play with my way of living. So always negotiate. And when it comes to pricing, favor yourself. Like, look at all these things, and especially if you're looking to grow and scale, and you will need to pump money. Anytime you're growing, you're pumping money. Scaling, you don't need to pump as much, but you're looking for bigger things. So it means you're working on your systems and other things. That's a topic for a different day. But yeah, you need money to keep growing. You need money to hire. You need money to come up with systems. You need money to keep living. You need money to show up for your business tomorrow. You need money to show up for the people in your household. You need money to be happy. You need money to look cute. You need money, period. There's no convincing me when it comes to that. Did we have any other question for today? For me, I would just urge everybody, just go ahead and follow me, because monthly I will be doing these lives. I promise next time, the technical difficulties will be well controlled, hopefully. And then I can show up on time. And also, I will have a presentation situation on the side. However, also, I wanted to see, let me see, before I cancel everybody out. There's a there's a pricing tool that will be attached down below in the explanation sections. Just go ahead and click it, or send the word price, and then we can send you like a preview where you can see how it works. But if you insist on charging by the hour, you will see how you are not available for so many hours and you cannot get to your goals. But it's a tool that you can use for pricing. Just send the word pricing in the comment section and you will receive a link. Okay? So subscribe. Yes, the word price. And then subscribe and meet me here once a month. I will announce it on Instagram, so follow me over there, or even on TikTok, and you will definitely get an email. Okay? If there's no further questions, I will let you go, and we'll see you next time. Also, expect more videos regarding these topics on this channel. Thank you for attending. Goodbye.